What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We're going to be talking about Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. The film follows Reed and Sue, who are about to get married, and things could not be better for them. However, when the mysterious Silver Surfer crashes things, they learn that their planet is about to be destroyed. Now, I am in the minority when it comes down to both of these Fantastic Four movies. I enjoy them. I know I have a nostalgic trip whenever I watch these movies, but when it comes down to Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, I have always been iffy on this movie because on one hand there are things about this movie that I enjoy, and there are some things that feel a little bit shoehorned in here. Now, starting off with the things that I really enjoyed about this movie, whoever thought up of the idea of having Doug Jones as the body and figment of the Silver Surfer while Lawrence Fishburne does the voice of the Silver Surfer, I thought was a perfect marriage of those two, and they work pretty well to make a great Silver Surfer. There are issues that I have with the movie. One of the issues that I don't have with the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer is how they handled the Silver Surfer in this movie. While he doesn't really get too much of the screen time in here, he shows up in the beginning causing a little bit of mayhem before Galactus comes in. Then you have him when we get to the scene in the woods and they're trying to trap him to get him off the surfboard. Whenever he is used, I think that is when the movie is at its full effect. The way that he moves around with his surfboard, I thought looked fantastic. And one of the scenes that holds up 17 years later is the scene between Silver Surfer and Johnny, where Johnny is trying to catch the Silver Surfer, and the whole chase scene, I think, is still one of the most exciting parts about this movie, which is saying a lot because there's really not a lot of exciting moments in this movie. But also, the thing that I loved about this is how Johnny kind of became a super scroll in this movie, because once the Silver Surfer infects Johnny with his powers, where Johnny is able to gain everybody else's powers and he's able to transform into the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, and Invincible Woman. I thought the first part of the movie where Johnny is like, where everybody finds out that Johnny is able to get everybody's powers, plus it's also an excuse for Tim Story to get Jessica Alba naked in this movie again, I thought was a lot of fun, and it's something that I kind of wish they used a little bit more throughout the entire movie. Plus the final fight between Johnny and Doctor Doom, where Johnny has everybody else's power in order for him to take down Doctor Doom. It's still a lot of fun, even though some of the CGI there doesn't really hold up as much as it did when I was a kid. But seeing how Johnny was able to just get everybody's powers and use it as an advantage, I kind of wish they used it a little bit more in this movie. It also carries the best part about the first Fantastic movie, which is the relationship between the Thing and Johnny Storm. That buddy buddy relationship is something that I really enjoy when it comes down to these two. I thought they handled that relationship pretty well. And you also have Iowan Gruffin as Mr. Fantastic, which I think he does better in here than he does in the first film, but it's not that much of an improvement. I think he finds his steps a little bit more in here than he does in the first film. But going into the things that didn't really work for me as much as it did when I first watched it is Jessica Alba as Sue Storm. Now, there was a lot of behind the scenes drama between her and Tim Story, where Tim Story was kind of being a dick to her. There were some reports that said that Jessica Alba's tears in this movie, whenever she cried, they had to be digitally added because she wasn't crying pretty enough, which I don't know what that means, but I thought Jessica Alba, for the most part in this movie, was okay. The story in here, where the first half of this movie is her being obsessed with this wedding and trying to make it perfect, I get that, but also it kind of starts to grind on your gears a little bit. And also the way that they brought back Victor Von Doom in this movie really didn't work. Julian McMahon is great as Victor Von Doom. They just don't give him enough good material in here, which isn't saying the best because not everybody has the best material to work with, but they do the best they possibly can with the material that they do have. Julian McMahon is always on board whenever it comes to Victor Von Doom, and I think he so far is the best Victor Von Doom. He knows exactly how to take this character and try to make it his own. They just don't give him enough there, and it just felt like he was just shoehorned in here because we had the post-credit scene in the first Fantastic Four where he's getting shipped off to Latveria, and the Silver Surfer just awakens him out of nowhere, and then he becomes a somewhat of a good guy at first, but you know exactly the route that's going to take. And the final battle could have been a little bit stronger. It just felt like everything was just being rushed, and it doesn't let you sit with it as much as the fight in the first film. But overall, it's still a fun little enjoyment. It's not that big of an improvement over the first one. It still has its issues. I still have my nostalgia goggles when it comes down to this movie. Some of the humor in here I thought landed a little bit more. Some of it just fell a little flat, but overall, this is a movie that I still enjoy. It's still a lot of fun. There's just some issues that I have. The Silver Surfer is one of the biggest standouts in the movie, and overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer a 5 out of 10. But those are my thoughts on Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this a movie that you love, or is this a movie that you just desperately hate even more than the first film? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys for the next video.